Okay. So, what were some of the topics that we discussed in our previous class?
Like Duryodhana, they called Pandavas that they
Okay.
were some part of the kingdom, and they gave them Kandva Prastha, which was a deserted place where there was no agriculture to be held and no ports.
Okay. What was the a place called? Before it was called Indraprastha, what was it called?
Kandva Prastha.
Ah, very good. Okay. Okay. Then what happened after that?
Then after that, the Pandavas started building on that Kandva Prastha, and later after
With whose help they were building this Kandha Prastha?
Vyasadeva
And
Balaram.
Balaram
Krishna.
and Krishna. Very good. Okay, so they are building this Indraprastha. Okay, before with the help of these three. Okay, and then how was Indraprastha described? How beautiful was Indraprastha?
It was like a paradise.
It was like a paradise, right? Almost equal to Amravati. Okay, and what is Amravati? Amravati was which city? Whose city was Amravati? Do you all remember? You know the city. It's one of the demigods city.
Oh.
Who was the demigod? The king of heaven. Who is it?
Indra.
Very good. So Indra's capital was Amravati, right? All of you know, right? So and then what happens after this incident? After this, where does the story lead us to? Remember, so then the Prastha was built. Yeah, okay. And then come on, try to recap. Two Rakshasas appeared. You remember?
Vasunda.
Ah, very good. What was their story?
Their story was like once they meditated. They meditated on Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma appeared. Then he gave a boon to them that they will
They
fight
both fought
with
over
each other's hands only.
yeah, but
Die
why?
in each
Yeah,
other's
okay. They
hands.
will die with each other's hands only. Okay, so they can't die on someone else. And then what happens? Who appears in that scene?
Brahma
Vishwakarna.
asked Vishwakarma to build such a woman that she should attract Sunda and Upasunda.
Ah,
So,
correct.
so Vikarna makes such a woman, and they keep her name as Trilottama.
Very good. Trilottama was her name. Very good. Okay, and
Comes on earth and she attracts them both, and they both started fighting who will marry. So they were making her to each other. She was just seeing how they were fighting, and at the end they both killed each other.
very good. Okay, so who took this example to whom? Who was relating the story?
Vyasa to Pandavas.
Vyasa to Pandavas, or was it someone else?
Vidura to Pandavas.
Vidura to Pandavas.
It was Narada Muni, right? So
yeah.
we all remember it. Once a new kingdom or a new king is established, who comes to visit? Narada Muni comes to visit. Yeah, so Narada Muni had come and he was telling the story. But why was he telling the story? What was the reason?
Because all the 5 Pandavas had one wife.
One wife.
And
right?
they had a rule that each husband can live with Draupadi for 1 year.
Very good. So Narada bought this, as you can see in this picture, because Narada wanted harmony in the brothers, right? They didn't want the brothers to die, in each other's hands and some kind of quarrel to happen between the Pandavas, right? So Narada recited the story, and after that, who took this initiative? Who kept this rule?
Yudhishthira.
Very good. So Yudhishthir Maharaj said that we will all not enter into the quarters of each other when we are alone with Draupadi. And what will happen if they enter?
They will go for 12 years of exile.
Yeah, so 12 years. Okay, they will be exiled and they have to follow Brahmacharyam towards what? Brahmacharyam towards Draupadi. Okay, which means for 12 years, they are not supposed to come in touch with Draupadi, see her, or any kind of contact. Okay, So this shouldn't be happening, right? So till here we saw in last class, right? And then what happens? So after this,
one day, shepherd, he comes to Arjuna and he says, somebody stole his cow. How could you do such thing? Then the Arjuna goes for the where the weapons are.
Weapon chamber, and he opens the door there and he finds
So what
weapon.
happens is this Yudhishthir's chamber, okay, and the weaponry are on almost on the same thing, okay, on the same, you know.
Yes.
So what happens? Two options he has. One is he has to
One
follow
is
his
to break the
dharma.
rule
He has
or
to
break the rule.
Yeah, so because he promised a brahmana, right, that he will
Yes.
return the cow by the
By
evening,
sunset.
by sunset, right? So he vows to, like, you know, keep up the thing that he promised the brahmana, right? And then he enters and
he goes to the weaponry room and
Room and finds Yudhishthira and Draupadi there.
okay, very good. And
then he goes
he takes the
and-
weapons and he leaves. And
He
he
goes-
comes back. And what is the verdict? What is the conversation Yudhishthir Maharaj and Arjuna will be having?
Yudhishthir Maharaj said that it was my mistake to be in the weapon chamber, so I must go to the exile. And Arjuna says, no, I broke a rule, so I should go to exile. Like that, they kept on talking.
Very good, right? So at last, Arjuna, what does he choose?
12 years of exile.
Arjuna chose to go to exile.
Very good. Okay, because like the dharmic way is to follow the dharma, right, which his big brother had upholded.
Yes.
If he doesn't follow, then Yudhishthir's value will reduce, right? Because he's a king, okay, of what, Indraprastha. Okay, so if you know, this happens, his name will come down. Okay, so no, because of which what happened after this? So Arjuna goes to where? He starts his yatra to where? To which place?
Haridwar.
Very good. So he starts his like journey to Haridwar. Okay. So let us begin this week's session from here.
Yes,
Mataji.
Okay. So now what we have known till now that Arjuna is going to Haridwar. Okay. So remember, this part is the end of Adi Leela. Okay. So after this, what happens is the end of Adi Leela, okay, is where a lot of major incidents will happen. Not 1, 2, or 3, like a lot of them will start happening. Okay, so I request all of you to have a pen and a book. So many names will come and everything will be related to Kurukshetra. Okay, all of these stories we will see. Okay, these characters appear again and again in Kurukshetra war also. Okay, so let us start with the first thing. Now what happens? Arjuna, okay, he goes to Haridwar. Okay, that is his destiny, right? So he keeps traveling and traveling, and one day he stops by the Ganges, okay, to take a bath. Okay. So now what happens is in this Ganga, when he's taking a bath, okay, he is trying to offer waters to Pitru, right? Normally, when someone goes to any holy rivers, okay, they try to offer, okay, the Pindadan, right? All of you would know, right? To the ancestors who have passed away from this world. So now what happens is suddenly, okay, a beautiful, like a woman appears. But the thing is, this woman is able to see Arjuna, but Arjuna is not able to see this woman. You know why? Because she is the princess of the Nagas. Okay, so she has this invisible power where, you know, only like if she wants, she can appear in front of people. Okay, and this princess is so smitten, okay, by the beauty of Arjuna. Okay, so what happens when Arjuna goes into this Ganga, right, to offer the water and everything, she pulls him down, okay, to where? To the Nagaloka. Okay, so this Nagaloka has a king, okay, he's called Kauravya. Okay, Kauravya. Okay, now what happens? She pulls him, right? He loses consciousness when she is pulling him. Okay, at that time, what happens is, like after losing consciousness, when Arjuna wakes up, he is in this unknown but very beautiful kingdom, and he is able to breathe underwater. Okay, and he is very like shocked, okay, about the place, and he becomes very curious. Okay, so what he does is he starts asking, okay, this princess, saying, please tell me who you are. Okay, who you are, what are you doing here, okay, and why have you brought me here? So she starts introducing that you've come to which kingdom? Who is the king of Nagas over here?
Kauravya.
Ha, Kauravya. Okay, and I am his daughter, and my name is Ulpi. Okay, Ulpi. Okay, Ulpi. So I am the daughter of the Naga king, and this is the place we live. This is called, it's not the Naga Loka, but it is like a subset, like where they start living. So now what happens is she says that, see, I am very attracted to you, and I know that you have come here. Okay, I know all the backstory. So she knows what happens, what happened. Okay, that Arjuna saw Yudhishthir and Draupadi in one room. That's why he was sent to exile and everything. So she says that I know, everything about you, but I'm still willing to marry. Okay, but there was one thing about Ulpi. Okay, that she was a widow. So back in those days, okay, it was okay to marry a widow because they are going to give her a shelter, right? The king or whoever marries, okay, they're giving a shelter to a woman. So it was okay in those days to marry a widow. So Ulpi says she has a small backstory. Okay, so what happens is Garuda actually kills Ulpi's husband. Okay, so since then she is a widow, but she is very young. Okay, she became a widow in a very young age. So then what happens is she used to live under the water, right? So she, along with her friends, once in a while, they used to come out to worship Lord Shiva. Okay, there used to be a Lord Shiva's temple on the bank of this river. So
Hare
she used to come.
Krishna.
Laimisha, Hare Krishna.
Voice is breaking, Mataji.
I think your internet, you got disconnected. Niranjan, you can hear me fine?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So I think Naimisha, please do check your Wi-Fi. Okay. So then what happens is, so when she comes out of the bank, okay, there's a Mahadev. Okay, there's Lord Shiva's temple over here. Okay, so she and her friends used to come every day. So this used to be their routine. So this is how she encounters actually whom? She encounters Arjuna, okay, when she comes out of the bank. So now what happens is, she says to Arjuna, but Arjuna says, see, I have taken 12 years of celibacy, right? Which means I am not supposed to engage in any kind of marriage. And then Ulpi says that, see, you're supposed to observe, okay, celibacy from what? From Draupadi, not from rest of the women. Okay, so it is actually okay. Okay, so like this, she convinces, and she also reminds that it is the duty of a kshatriya, okay, to take the hand of any woman who comes to him. Okay, so this way what happens, this Ulpi, okay, who's the daughter of the Nagas, she gets married to Arjuna. Okay, so this happens, and he stays with Ulpi, and they also beget a son, and the son's name is Airavan. Okay, and what happens? He leaves, like Arjuna leaves this shore, and he carries, okay, forward to his journey. Okay, so this encounter is very important because what happens is this Ulpi, okay, the daughter of the Nagas, she helps him, okay, during the Kurukshetra war. Okay, we will see when that, the Yuddha Parva comes. Okay, we will see how this goes. Okay, when Bhishma Parva comes, we will learn, okay, how she helped, okay, and how her son, okay, what was the son of Ulpi's?
Airavan.
Airavan, very good. Okay, and how Airavan also participates in this battle, okay, supporting the Pandavas. So these characters are very, very important. Okay, you should remember them. Okay, now what happens? Like Arjuna goes, he starts traveling more and more, and he starts taking bath in many holy rivers. So he is on his way to Himalayas. Okay, he is on his journey to Himalayas. So when he's on his journey to Himalayas, he comes across this kingdom called Manipur. Okay, or in the olden days they used to call it Manipura. Okay, so this particular region, okay, was actually ruled by Chitravahana. Okay, so Chitravahana was the king of this area. Okay, so what happens is Chitravahana, okay, he had a very beautiful daughter, okay, and her name was Chitrangada. See, don't be confused, okay. The name of like Satyavati's sons are Chitranga, okay, and Vichitra Virya, right? This, her name is Chitrangada. Okay, so she was the daughter of this king. The thing was, though she was a princess, she had a very masculine build. Okay, and it is because she was the only daughter of the king. Okay, so she used to be trained in weaponry, and everyone in that local area used to praise her, for how strong and how, she had so many qualities of a Kshatriya warrior. Okay, so the local people of that kingdom were very happy with the princess. So Arjuna also comes and he starts hearing about this princess, and he gets very curious. Okay, who this princess is. So what happens? He goes and he meets the princess. Okay, and as soon as he sees the princess, Arjuna again, he is very attracted to her. So what happens? He goes to the king and he asks his daughter in the hand, I want to marry your daughter, please, get her married to me. So the king inquires, who are you? Because you dressed like, a sage. Okay, because now he is in what, right? He's in exile, right? So he has a veshadharan, okay, of a sage but with long hair. So now what happens when Arjuna says that, I am Kunti Putra, okay, I come from the lineage of Kurus. The king was very impressed. Okay, at this point he was very impressed. So what happens is, he says that, as you have told your lineage, okay, let me recite my lineage also. Okay, because there is a small kind of like a boon that was given to us. And he starts reciting his own lineage. Who recites the lineage? Who's reciting this lineage to whom?
Chitravahana to Arjuna.
Very good. Chitravahana to Arjuna. Okay, he will be reciting this lineage. And he says that in our lineage, okay, one of my ancestors, okay, his name was Prabhanjana. Okay, so this Prabhanjana, okay, what happened was this Prabhanjana didn't have any kids. Okay, he was childless basically, and he wanted to receive a son. So he started meditating. He started, going to Himalayas, and for 6 months he did deep penance. Okay, meditating on the name of Lord Shiva. Okay, then Lord Shiva comes and he grants this king the boon that yes, you will have a child, but okay, you will only be able to have one child at a time. Okay, you can't have multiple children, and you can only have one child. And he didn't specify if the child will be male or female. But what happened as the lineage went forward, okay, from Prabhanjana, so many of them had sons, except for this king. Okay, Chitravahana had a daughter. So what Chitravahana proposed, or you can say as a condition, is that you can marry my daughter, but the condition is if you beget a son. Okay, because in our lineage you can only beget one child, right? If you beget a son, okay, that son will be the heir to my throne. So you cannot take him as your son. Okay, he will not belong to the Kuru dynasty, but he will belong to the dynasty of the Manipuras. Okay, so Arjuna obviously, he accepts and everything. Okay, and he spends 3 years in this place. Okay, of Manipura, and he stays with his wife over here, and both of them have a beautiful life. But after 3 years, his wife gets pregnant. Okay, Chitrangada, she actually gets pregnant and she begets a child. This child is actually very important also. Why? This child also plays a very important role in the Kurukshetra war. Okay, he actually fights against Arjuna. Okay, so this particular child who is born, okay, so this also we will discuss. So please do note the names. Okay, they are very, very important. Okay, so like this, what happens from here? Arjuna, as you can see in this picture, okay, he leaves the kingdom of Manipura and he starts traveling towards north. Okay, so now what happens? Arjuna is traveling and traveling, and he reaches something called the South Ocean. Okay, normally I'll ask you a general question. Okay, geographically, South Ocean means what? What are the ocean that comes in the south side?
Indian Ocean.
Indian Ocean, good. And if you go down, you can see the Antarctica and other things, right? But we
Yes,
cannot, but in the book, it says that Arjuna is traveling towards Himalayas. So how is that possible that he is heading to the South Ocean? Right? So we don't have to read too much into geography because Bharata Khanda was different back in those days. Okay. So leaving apart the geography, we will just discuss in general. Okay, so now what happens is this South Ocean, as described over here, has so many sacred rivers around it. They said that there were 5 sacred rivers. Okay, so quickly I'll tell you what are the names of the rivers. Okay, one river was named Agastya. It was named after different munis. These 5 lakes were named after different munis. So one of the lake was called Agastya. The other lake was called Saubhadra. Okay, the other name was called Bharadwaja. Okay, so each river had one name. Okay, 5 names. So we discussed 3 names. Okay, the fourth name was Pauloma, and the fifth name was Karnadhama. Okay, you got the names. First is Agatsya. Okay, Puloma. Okay, next was Saubhadra. The fourth was Bharadwaja, and the last was Karnadhama. Okay, Karnadhama. So there were the 5 sages, and these lakes were dedicated, okay, to them, honoring their names. But what happened as soon as Arjuna went, okay, he saw so many hermitage. You know what hermitage means, right? Where rishis stay, okay? He saw so many hermitage, but no rishis are going and taking bath in these sacred, lakes. So what happened? Arjuna asks, like Rishi over there, okay, that why are you not taking bath in these sacred rivers? Okay, what is the reason? And the sage says that actually there are 5 crocodiles residing in these 5 lakes. They are so big, okay, and we are not able to go and take a bath in these rivers because of these crocodiles. They are troubling us. Okay, so Arjuna, what happens? He starts entering into the waters, and the sages, they try to stop him, but he doesn't listen. Okay. Now, before we continue further, the sages are powerful, right? The people who meditate, they have mystic powers, especially in those days, right? But why are they not saving? I mean, why they cannot handle the crocodiles? It's not like a big thing, right? It's just a crocodile. So they can easily, have some mantras or something and, do something, right? So you guys tell me, why are they not able to protect themselves from the crocodiles, and why do they need someone's help to do it? Any idea? Why the sages take others' help? We saw in many incidents, right? Sages take others' help, right? So any incident you remember, or why do they do this? Any guess? You can just guess why the sages don't, put a curse or use their mantras or something. What is the reason behind it? No idea. It's fine, okay? So I missed out one detail. I will just repeat it, okay? Ulpi actually had given a boon to Krishna, to Arjuna, saying that you will be able to defeat any creature that is underwater. We discussed, right, who Ulpi is, right? Who is Ulpi?
Ulpi is the daughter of the king of the Nagas.
Nagas king,
And what is the king's name?
Kauravya.
Ah, very good. Okay, so she had given this boom to Arjuna. So Arjuna is very good at this water, fight. Now, before we discuss why do the sages don't involve in such kind of activities, I'll give you 2 examples. Okay, first example, all of you will know. Okay, it is from the Krishna book, right? We remember when Garuda is actually going behind Kalia, right? And he comes to a river, and the Kalia takes the shelter of that particular river because a sage had cursed Garuda. You remember, right? So that time, what happened to the sage? When the sage cursed Garuda, what had happened to the sage? He falls down, right? He falls down from his position because he had cursed Garuda, who is the Vahana of Lord Vishnu, right? So, according to the Puranas, what they say is when the Lord created this world, okay, he created a balance, right? So, the sages, okay, they are not supposed to disturb this balance, okay, by killing the other creatures around them. That's why they are given that status also, right? You see, when a sage is meditating, they don't kill the deer and take its skin. Okay, what the process is that when a animal dies, like when a deer dies, naturally, okay, they take the skin and they use it for meditation. And when they use the skin of the deer, okay, which died by nature, okay, that becomes sattvic because when they are actually meditating on it, they are purifying which means the deer might get a better birth. Okay, so similarly, we also see the sages taking help of Ramachandra Prabhu, right? Who took the help of Lord Rama? So many people took, but there was one specific incident. Vishwamitra Muni, right? Okay, so he took the help, okay, because Marichi and Tataki were troubling, right? If Vishwamitra thought, okay, he was a what? He was a Brahma Rishi, right? He could just put one Brahmastra and end it. But that was not his duty. It is the Kshatriya's duty to protect the sages. Okay, so similarly over here, it is Arjuna the Kshatriya, right? So it is his duty to protect the sages. So that is why this whole incident happens. Okay, so now what happens? Arjuna will go into this lake. Okay, and he will go, and there's a fierce war that happens. Okay, the crocodile will try to pull him, and Arjuna tries to drag the crocodile out of the water. As soon as he drags, you can see over here, right? This crocodile, it turns into an Apsara. You know who Apsaras are, right? And this Apsara's name was Varga. Okay, and this Apsara comes out, okay, and everyone over there is shocked. Okay, how can a crocodile turn into a beautiful woman? Right? So then what happens is this Apsara, okay, Arjuna starts asking, okay, so you please tell me who you are and why did you turn into a crocodile? A crocodile is from a lower birth, right? So why did you turn into a crocodile? So the Apsara will start reciting a story, okay, of what happened in the past. She says that once, me and my friend, my four friends, okay, we had come down from Indraloka to this particular place to, take bath in the holy rivers. That time we encountered a sage, okay, and we were very attracted, by the sage. And we started singing. This is what Apsaras, some of them do, right? But the sage, okay, he was a bit different. He stared at us very angrily, okay, and he cursed us that we will become crocodiles for 100 years. A long time, right? Now the Apsaras, as usual, they started begging, okay, and then the Brahmana, he gives a excuse that there'll be one person, okay, and his name is Arjuna. He will come, and till he comes, you'll be like in this crocodile form, okay. So he will come and he will pull you out of, your miseries. But he doesn't say. So what happens is these Apsaras, they become very very saddened. Okay, at that time they see Narada Muni. So Narada Muni will actually suggest this place that you take shelter in this 5 lakes. Arjuna will come here for sure, and he will take you out of this form. So the Apsara recites this story, and she says that hence, we came and we took shelter in these lakes, okay, and we were trying to actually tell the sages about our miserable condition. But because we were in a crocodile form, we were not able to do this. Okay, so the whole story is narrated, and Arjuna also hears all of this, and he does the same thing to the other 4 crocodiles also. Okay, he will pull all the crocodiles out, and he will liberate. I mean, liberate in the sense he will everyone take their original forms. Okay, so what happens? The 5 Gandharvi, I mean the Apsaras, are happy, and they return back to the Indraloka. Okay, all clear till now? Any doubts?
No, Mataji.
No? So can we proceed to the story? Okay, from here, some very important aspects start happening. Okay, Arjuna, okay, he'll start his journey down to south. Okay, because half of his exile time is over. So half means what? In 12, half means
6.
very good. 6 years are over. So now if he starts his journey, he can reach, okay, his destination soon. So like this, what happens? He starts his journey, and for one last time, he wants to see his wife, okay, who is in Manipura. And what is the wife's name?
Chitrangada.
Very good. Okay, so he wants to go and see Chitrangada, because when he left, she was pregnant. Okay, and she just gave the birth, right, to her son. So now what happens is he goes and he wants to see his son, okay, for once, and also his wife. So he sees what was the son's name?
Babru Vahana.
Bahru Vahana. Okay, so he is sitting on the throne. Okay, he had already taken the position of a prince. Okay, so he, in a very young age, okay, he was given the throne, and everything was well. Arjuna assesses everything. Okay, and he also promises that whenever there is a need, that he will come. Okay, so like this, he finishes everything over here, and he starts traveling towards the West Ocean. This is what is said in the Mahabharata. Okay, so once he starts his journey to the West Ocean, okay, West Ocean means what? I think I'll tell you Gokarna. You know Gokarna, right? All of you. It is where? Gokarna is where?
Karnataka.
Ah, very good. Gokarna is in Karnataka. Okay. So what happens? He is traveling towards this region. Now tell me, who is the ruler of this part, the West Ocean? According to Mahabharat, who was ruling the Western region? What were some of the cities in the Western region? It was Krishna. Okay, who was the ruler of this region? Okay, all of us know, right? Dwaraka. So all of this, Hampi, and like now, it is called Hampi, and all of these places were actually ruled by Lord Sri Krishna along with his brother Balaram. Okay, so as soon as he comes to this thing, okay, he came to this place called Prabhahasa. Okay, Prabhahasa was a place name, okay, back in those days. So Lord Krishna welcomed his friend, okay. Over here, remember, Yudhishthir and Bhima are elder than Krishna in age. Okay, and Arjuna and Krishna were of the same age. So they used to be friends, right? So they had a relationship of friendship over here. So now what happened was Arjuna is welcomed by Krishna. Okay, and they used to go around chatting with each other. They had such a lovely time. And Lord Sri Krishna welcomes Arjuna to his kingdom. He's like, you know what? Let us go to Dwaraka. Okay, where we have, a grand welcome for you. So he takes um Arjuna to his kingdom, okay, where he meets Balaram and everyone, and Arjuna stays here for a couple of weeks. Okay, so remember, couple of weeks. Okay, and then what happens was there was a great sacrifice that will be happening in the Raivataka mountain, okay, which is near this, Gokarna and Dwaraka. So what happens? All the princes, all the prince along with their wives, all the kings, everyone comes. Okay, I think all of you would have heard about these dynasties. Okay, the Vrishni dynasty, Bhoja dynasty, and the Angada dynasty. You've heard this, right, in Krishna book. So all of them come. Okay, all of them come to this place. Okay, and they also start attending this sacrifice. Okay, so who are the partners for Balaram? Who was Balaram's wife? Who was Balaram's wife? Forgot who Balaram's wife is? Revati, right? Revati was Balaram's wife. Revati, okay. And then like this, King Ugrasena brings his wife. Ugrasena had 1,000 wives. Krishna comes with his wives and his sons. Okay, we also know Krishna has so many queens. So he comes like this. So like this, like different people, okay, come to this which mountain? It was called Raivataka mountain. Okay, they come over here. And this is the first time Arjuna actually sees someone. Who is that person? Who is the person that Arjuna encounters? She's very important. Very good. Okay, so this is the first time Arjuna encountered Subhadra. Can he see Subhadra? And Subhadra Mata, she was so pretty. Right? She is the sister of whom? Balaram and Krishna, right? She was also transcendently beautiful. And he gets instantly attracted to Subhadra. Okay? I think all of you would have known this part of the story. Okay? So what happens? Krishna actually sees Arjuna's reaction. Okay? And he says that, are you interested? Are you attracted to Subhadra? And Arjuna says, yes, I'm very attracted to Subhadra. And he says that, so I will go and I will talk to, my father. Who is the father of Krishna?
Vasudev.
Yeah, Vasudev. Okay, so I'll go talk to my father. And you also please, try to send a letter or something to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Okay, so what happens is when the discussion is going on, Vasudev is very happy, Krishna is very happy, and even Subhadra is very happy. Okay, she sees Arjuna and she's also very happy. Now what happens is that there's one person who was objectifying this thing. And who was it? Who was not okay with this?
Balaram.
Yeah, correct, Balaram. Did you know what was the reason for his like him rejecting or something?
Because he wanted Duryodhana to marry
Very
Subhadra.
good. Why? Why is it? Why did he want Subhadra to marry Duryodhana?
Because Duryodhana was student of Balaram.
Very good. There were two students of Balaram. One was Duryodhana and other was
Bhima.
Bhima. Two of them. Okay. So he wanted Duryodhan because he is the elder, right? And he also knew that he might be the king of the Kurus, right? So he wanted Duryodhan to marry Subhadra. And also the thing was, he didn't want Subhadra to marry Arjuna because Arjuna already had Draupadi. Okay, and he married two other people also in this process, right? So Subhadra will have like a fourth wife status kind of a thing. Okay, this was the reason. So now what happens? Without Balaram's permission, Krishna cannot go ahead, okay, getting Subhadra married. Okay, so what he did, he put a small scheme. Okay, he said to Arjuna that normally when a princess is married, okay, two things happen. First is she either chooses her, person she wants to marry, okay, like Amba, right? So Amba invites the princess to the Swayambar. So what happens? She marries a person in a Swayambar, first option. Second option is you kidnap and take away, Apaharan, right? And who does, and even Krishna himself does it, right? He
Yes.
elopes with whom?
Rukmini.
Very good, Rukmini. So Krishna proposes these two plans. He says the first one is not possible, okay? Because why Duryodhan will like come and Balaram will not agree to this. So it is not possible, okay? And in a Swayambar, Balaram will not hold a Swayambar because he has mentally decided that he wanted Duryodhan to be the husband of Subhadra. So the best way of dealing with this is you kidnap Subhadra. Okay, so immediately what happens? Vasudev, the father, he accepts, and Arjuna sends a letter to Yudhishthir, and Yudhishthir is more than happy. Yudhishthir Maharaj is like, wow, you are going to marry Krishna's sister. What else is needed? Okay. So like this, everyone is rejoicing, and also Arjuna, he comes up with a plan with the help of whom? Krishna. And at last, what happens? When this whole sacrifice is going on, she comes out, okay, from the sacrifice to go to her house. At that point, Arjuna kidnaps, okay, Subhadra. Now you tell me what happens after this. What happens? He kidnapped, okay, Subhadra. Now what are the consequences he has to face? And he's eloping from where? He's eloping from Krishna's kingdom. Okay, so what happens? All obviously Balaram and everyone get very furious, okay, and they want to attack, okay, Arjuna, okay, and they want to bring Subhadra back. So they send all their fine chariots, okay, and everything happens. And now there's one person in the Sabha who is very silent. He is just sitting silently. Who is that one person?
Krishna.
Very good. So Balaram turns to his younger brother and he says, so we all attest that Subhadra has eloped, okay, and Arjuna has eloped Subhadra and he has taken her away, and you are here very relaxed, sitting, okay, not giving any kind of suggestion or taking your chariot and going. So, do you have any part of this? Any kind of, thing. So Krishna calmly, he gets up and he starts announcing to everyone that, you see, Arjuna is a great warrior. Okay, and no one is more powerful than Arjuna. The only person, okay, remember this very well, that can beat Arjuna in war is Lord Shiva himself. Okay, no one else can beat Arjuna, okay, in war. Though Karna is equal in power, because of his story will parallelly be going on, right? Because of his situation and his training with Parasurama, we'll see that story also, okay? He'll become incompetent at this point. So, only Lord Shiva can beat Arjuna. Okay, no one else can. And also, okay, as a Kshatriya, Arjuna can elope. And he starts giving his own example. Okay, and he starts telling all the good features, okay, of Arjuna. To whom? To Balaram and the court, right? So he is the son of Kunti Maharani. And he is the son of whom? Indra, Swayam Indraputra. Okay. So what else do you need, Balaram? Like, why do you want Duryodhan? Okay. You know how this will end. Balaram knows. Okay, though Duryodhan is his very, very dear disciple, he knows how this is going to end. Okay, so after saying all this, Balaram finally, he tries to calm and he's like, okay, it is fine. But he will partially still be angry with Arjuna, okay, because he had not taken blessings of Balaram, right? So what happens? Krishna actually arranges Arjuna to come back with Subhadra. So they come back and both of them get married. Okay. So both of them get married with the blessings of Balaram and the whole family. And what happens? Arjuna still had a few, years, 1 year or 1.5 or 2 years left. Okay. Yes, Mataji? Okay. So now what happens is that he will resume this Vanavas period. Okay, this exile period. And he takes Subhadra and he goes back to Indraprastha. Okay, Arjuna goes back to Indraprastha. So when he goes back to Indraprastha, everyone is welcoming, Arjuna very grandly, and also his wife. He brings Subhadra also along with him. Okay, everyone is giving such grand welcome. Kunti Maharani is happy. Yudhishthir, Bhima, Nakula Sahadev is very happy to, welcome the sister-in-law. Okay, but what happens is one person who is very sad, and not sad, but she is very angry. Who is this person?
Draupadi.
Very good. Draupadi is furious. Okay, if you leave Draupadi, she will go and she'll attack Arjuna. She's that angry with Arjuna. And she doesn't welcome Subhadra. She directly goes to Arjuna and she will tell Arjuna that, was I so incompetent, that you got another woman, into our house. Okay, this is so unfair. While I was here, you can't go around marrying, Subhadra. And then Draupadi stays very angry. But what happens? Subhadra, okay, it is described in Mahabharata, the way she was dressed, that she didn't have any ornaments. Okay, she wore a normal sari, just normal sari. She goes, she offers her obeisances to everyone. Okay, and she goes to who? Draupadi. Okay, she goes to Draupadi. She takes her blessings and she says that please accept me as your maid servant. See, she doesn't say accept me as your husband's wife, nothing. See the words she uses. Okay, and who is she? She is the sister of Balaram and Krishna, right? But seeing her humbleness, okay, like Draupadi couldn't be angry at her anymore. Okay, she she hugs Subhadra. Okay, and she says that I am so impressed because you are Lord Krishna and Balaram's sister and you have such a princess status. Okay, she was a princess, but still you came here. Okay, and so humbly you greeted me, right? So Draupadi becomes very happy, satisfied, and she accepts Subhadra as a co-wife. Okay, so together, to be honest, they will be living in different palaces. Okay, like in the thing, but she accepts the Subhadra like a sister. Okay, so till here clear? Any doubts or anything?
No, Mataji.
All clear?
Yes.
Okay, now we can move on to the next story. Okay, now what happens is after everything is settled, Lord Krishna, learns that Arjuna had returned to Indraprastha, right? So he wants to go and see how the ruling is going on, how all the brothers are doing and everything. So in this process, what happens is both Krishna and Balaram entered into the city. And one very important thing happens, okay? At this point, Subhadra was pregnant and so was Draupadi. Okay, and all of us know, right? Subhadra was pregnant with
Abhimanyu.
Very good. Okay, this all of us know. Okay, so let me ask you a very tricky question. Who were the sons of Draupadi? Draupadi had how many sons?
5.
5 sons, each one from one of the husbands. Okay, good. So who was the son of Yudhishthir?
Prativindhya.
Oh, very good. Prativindhya, very good. Okay, the son of Bhima?
Sutasoma.
Sutasoma. Very good. So first was Prativindya, and it was Sutasoma. And Arjuna's son was called
Shrutakarma.
Shrutakarma. Very good. What was his other name? Arjuna's son had two names. Shrutakarma, correct. And he was also named as Shrutakirti. Okay. Now, before we go on to Nakula Sahadev, why were these names given? Why was Bhima's son called Sutasoma? There's a reasoning between for all these names. So what happens is, for Draupadi to be pregnant, and deliver healthy sons, each of the Pandavas did something. Okay, for example, Bhima, he performed 1,000 Soma sacrifices. Hence, his son was called Suta Soma. Okay. Similarly, Arjuna, because he had gone to Vanavas and he did all this, he was exiled, he was kicked, and he also gave like great feast when he came back. His son was called Shruta Karma or Shruta Kirti because his glories were sung all over the world. Now comes to Nakula and Sahadev. What were their sons' names?
Satanika and
Satanika and Satanika was the son of Nakula. Okay. Sahadev's son was? He was named something. He was named after a constellation. You know that it stars, right? He was born under a constellation. It was called Kritika. And his name was Shrutasena. Okay? Shrutasena was a son of who?
Sahadev.
Sahadev. Okay? And this Shrutasena is actually the name of Kartikeya. You know who Kartikeya is?
Yes.
Who was Kartikeya?
Ganesha's brother.
Yes.
Ganesha's brother. And what was his position among the demigods?
Commander-in-Chief.
Commander-in-Chief of war, right? So any war happens, he's a commander for that war. Okay, so like this happen, like all of the kids are born, and who is the one who performs the birth ceremony for all of them? At that point, who was the family priest?
Vyasa.
Not Vyasa. They encounter, right? One family priest, they appoint him. We learned in the previous classes. Who was that person? Daumya, right? Daumya used to be the family sage, right? So when Vyasa told that you have to be headed by Brahmana, they choose Daumya, right? They convince Daumya, and he's the one who accompanies to the Swayambar, right? Of Arjuna, where he goes and he wins over Draupadi. So this is it for today. Okay, we will discuss their other things also, like how Yudhishthira is a great ruler, okay, of this kingdom Indraprastha. It talks about how beautifully Yudhishthira actually builds this whole Indraprastha. He builds Indraprastha so well, okay, and he's ruling so well that Yudhishthira will be ruling, okay. All the brothers will go to other kingdoms, and they will, if they accept, they become acquaintance. Okay, we all know, right? And if they don't accept, they will actually fight with each other. Okay, and they will win over the kingdom. So like this, what happens? Slowly, this Indraprastha, okay, the kingdom that was ruled by Yudhishthira started expanding. Okay, and someone gets alarmed because of this. Who is it?
Duryodhana.
Very good. So the concern starts coming. Duryodhana, Karna, Dhritarashtra, everyone, like Vidura is very happy, but all of them start getting tensed. Okay, so after this, there is one major incident that happens. But after that incident, we will see the Sabha Parva. Okay. So maybe in the next class, we will have maybe like 5 or 10 minutes of the Adi Parva. Okay. Well, what are we going to learn in that Parva is basically how Arjuna gets Gandiva. That will be the end of Adi Parva. Remember, okay. Adi Parva ends with the war. You can't say a war, but a fight between Indra and Arjuna because of Agni Dev. Okay. The story we will discuss next week. Okay. Any questions so far? All clear? All clear?
Yes, Mataji.
Very good. Okay. If there are no doubts, can we just have a quick recap?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. What was the story that we started today? What was the first story we discussed?
Arjuna goes to exile, and there Ulupi, like she pulls Arjuna
Hmm?
He goes to Ganga to bath.
Very good. Okay, so first story was we learnt about the Naga Putri.
Loka.
Okay, yeah, Nagaloka's princess who was Ulupi. Okay, and Ulupi's father's name was
Kauravya.
very good. And she got attracted to Arjuna and she had a son. And what was the son's name?
Airavan.
Airam. Very good. And in which bank was Arjuna actually taking, was offering obeisances to his Pitrus?
Ganga.
Very good. Okay, from here he goes to where? Arjuna.
Manipura.
Yeah, very good. And he meets whom?
Chitrangada.
Good. Okay, and her father's name was?
Chitravahana.
Very good. And Chitravahana, when he was reciting the lineage, who was his ancestor? Prativindya, right? Prativindya. Okay, so he was the ancestor, and what was the boon that was given to him? What was the boon that was given?
The boon is that from your wife you can beget only one child at a time.
So any people in your lineage can only beget one child at a time. Okay, and then Arjuna accepts, and what was the son's name? It was born. Very good. Okay, and then next, what was his next destination?
Then he goes to the lakes,
Okay.
where the 5 crocodiles, where he asks the sages, why are you not taking bath?
Correct. And he comes across five crocodiles, right? So what were the 5 lakes names?
Agastya, Subhadra, Bharadwaja, Puloma, Karnadhama,
and Karnadhama, right? Okay. And what was Apsara's name who was residing one of the lakes?
Vanga.
Varga.
Very good. Okay. And then what happens after that? We see that he liberates. And who put this curse on these Apsaras? A Brahmana, right? A Brahmana puts this curse, and who guides them to take shelter in these lakes?
Narada Muni.
Very good. Okay, so from here, the 5 Apsaras go back to Indra Loka, and then what happens? He travels back to where?
Gokarna.
Gokarna, which is the Western Ocean, right? And who does Arjuna meet over here?
Subhadra.
Subhadra, and he also meets Krishna over here, right? So Subhadra and Arjuna, they elope. Okay, we saw Balaram is angry and everything. And then what happens? After 1 or 2 years of exile, he returns back to
Indraprastha.
Very good. And who is the person who's angry at Arjuna?
Draupadi.
Very good. Draupadi is very angry at Arjuna, right? And then how does she become calm?
So Subhadra
Subhadra comes and says, takes Draupadi's blessings and says, please accept me as your maid servant.
So she gets pacified seeing how simple Subhadra was, right? She was just wearing a plain sari, and she's also the sister of Krishna and Balaram, but still she was so humble, right? Accepting her status as the second wife of Arjuna, who will reside. Okay, we saw that Arjuna had multiple wives, but she is you can say she was one of the queens. Okay, Arjuna had in the palace. Okay, so after this, what happens? Subhadra begets Abhimanyu. Okay, and the Draupadi begets 5 sons. The first son's name is
Prativindya.
Yeah, and he's the son of
Yudhishthira.
Very good. Next is Bhima's son is
Sutasoma.
Sutasoma. Very good. And why was Sutasoma called Sutasoma?
Because while
Sutasoma had performed 100 Soma sacrifices.
1,000.
1,000.
1,000 Soma Yagnas. Next is Arjuna's son. His name was
Shrutakirti or Shrutakirti.
Shrutakirti. And he got his name because
Arjuna, because
Arjuna went for exile and his glories were spread all over the world.
Very good. And when he came back, he hosted a big feast. Okay. And then they were called as Kirti, means glorified. Okay, so Arjuna was so glorified. Next is Nakula. Nakula's son was
Satanika.
Very good. Okay, and Satanika is actually one of the names of the Kuru ancestors. Okay, so he was named after a king. Okay, next is Sahadev's son was
Sutasena.
Very good. Okay, and he got his name
From a constellation.
Called Kritika, right? And it is also the name of which god?
Kartikeya.
Kartikeya. Okay, very good. And who performed the birth ceremony for all of them?
Daumya.
Daumya, very good. Okay. So with this, we also saw the glories of Yudhishthir and him ruling and everything. So with this, we will end the session. Okay. No doubts, right? Okay, then Vancha Kalpatarupesha Kripasindubhya cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Anantakoti Vaishnavinda ki Jai Shri Ramakrishna ki Jai Srimad Mahabharata
महाभारत की जय
all joys. I'm so
Hare
हरे
much
कृष्णा माता जी थैंक यू माता जी
Thank you.
दंडवत
I hope
प्रणाम
everyone were able to understand.
everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. We'll end the meeting. Yeah, Hare Krishna.